Hey, welcome back. We're back at Five Lakes Garage, and guess what I just came back from? Actually, it was a little bit ago, but hey, I went surf fishing. It's an awesome pastime. Highly recommend it. The only thing is though, is that we went around Thanksgiving. It is cold down there. So, a couple things you need to do every time you go out saltwater fishing, whether it's on a boat, on the surf, whatever, is clean your stuff. So this is what we're going to do today, kind of show you a couple tips and tricks or whatever about how to actually maintain your stuff. Now, only go saltwater fishing maybe 3-4 times a year. You got to preserve it. If you just throw it into the corner, you're gonna have problems later on. Now, you're out there on the beach, it is cold. I think the average temperature was maybe 35, which doesn't seem much, but then you have 40-mile-an-hour winds. Woo, it was chilly. But anyway, we did do pretty well out there. We caught, I stopped counting after 20 sharks. No, I didn't film it. We're there to have some fun, so that's what we did. I did have one little slight issue with the first day. My neighbor Todd went out there and was slaying them. I was doing nada. And the big problem was that my rod, this one here, which is only a 9-footer, if I put it together, I could not sling it far enough. And not only that, this is just a cheap ugly stick. Picked it up at Bass Pro Shop. Not that great. But hey, I'm going to give a little shout out to Red Drum Tackle, because they sell these coastals, which I would highly recommend. They're a little bit pricey just for the rod itself, but this thing was awesome. It's 11-footer. I was able to sling it out there. Wasn't wearing myself out. Everything was just fantastic for that. Highly recommend. It's called a coastal. It's 11-footer. It is a 60-40 split, so it's got 2 pieces, but one's a whole lot longer than the other. But then you got my big boy. Now this guy, I picked him up, and it is a breakwater 12-footer that I mostly had it out there for the sharks. Now, yeah, that guy worked great, but I always need a reel for it. So on the little guys, I have these little Tightline 5000 series reels, and I do have braid on there. It works great. They're nice and dirty, nice and sandy. That's what we got to clean today. Now I do have 2 of those, but from my big 12-footer, from all my big sharks, I got a pin, which is an 8000 series, and this joker, it's pretty darn big, I have to say. But, all right, so let's get the cleaning. Now this stuff has salt water on it, it's got sand all over it, it's got all the other stuff, and you gotta maintain it before you actually put things away. Now, it seems that it was cold. I did pick up some chest waders. I just went to Bass Pro Shop, picked up some. They're about a couple $100 a piece, and not that expensive. But as you can see, I got salt water still on it, and it's been a while. So what we're gonna do is actually clean that off. Now I just have a bucket here. I just put a little bit of simple green in there, a little bit of water. Use some hot water because it is cold outside, and we're inside a nice warm shop. Thanks, Grandma, for my heater. Anyway, so let's wipe these things down, and then we're gonna wipe down the rods and the reels and take them apart. Show you exactly what you need to do and how to store these things. Okay, so these things are all wiped down. Try to get all the stuff off that I can. You don't have to scrub it down too far. It is a good piece of rubber. Should not deteriorate, but we want to prevent it anywhere we can. Now what I'm going to do now is venture out into the cold and actually hose this down with the hose. Hopefully it's not frozen, and be able to get all the soap off of it, because you don't want to leave soap on there either. Now we're going to hang it up. We're going to go ahead and let it dry, and then tomorrow we're going to put it in a box. We're going to put it somewhere so it does not get messed up. This is a working shop, and it does get messed up. So now let's work on our rods and our reels. Okay, so I'm just going to take a regular rag, and I'm going to take the same soapy water that I have, and we're just going to wipe down the rods. Alrighty. Man, I already got cobwebs on it. Alright, wipe down all the rods. I went ahead and used the same soapy water, and I also have another one that I just got regular water on it, and also, well, half of it's wet, half of it's dry. Went ahead and got all the soap off the rods, and then I dried it off with the other side of the towel. Now these guys are pretty much ready to be stored away, but the most important thing and where you have all your money sitting in will be on these reels. So we're going to bring it in closer and start tearing these things down and show you exactly what to do and what not to do, I hope. And if I do it wrong, I'm sure you're going to let me know. Hit me in the comments, blow them up. Anyway, I'm going to hose this off first, and then when I get to that. Woo, they're cold already. All right, so we're ready to actually dig into the reels, but I went ahead and put some tie wraps on my rods to keep them together so they don't get damaged. At least it'll limit your damage on them. I prefer Velcro, to be honest with you, but I don't have any with me right now. So a couple of tools that you're actually going to need to tear this thing down. Now we're not tearing it completely down because we did spend a little bit extra to get these sealed units. Now you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, and you're going to need a 12mm or 7/16, whichever one you have. And most importantly for me, your spectacles, because I'm old and getting older. So the first thing we want to do is just take some compressed air. We just want to get all the sand. If you see underneath, you got sand, you got salt, you got everything that's dried up on there. All right, another thing that you probably notice is that I don't have any tackle on this stuff. I don't have any hooks, I don't have any sinkers, I don't have anything. Is before you even come off the beach, cut it all off. You're gonna restring it again later anyway. But if you keep it strung, then it puts way too much strain on all your eyelets and stuff like that. You don't wanna have that. So just go ahead and clip it off. Most of these actually have a little tab right here that you actually put the cord in there. Now this one right here is a mono filament. The rest I actually put braid on. This is the only one that had mono. All right, so I just blew this thing off. So let's get this thing taken apart. So we're just gonna undo the drag. Keep going until it goes all the way around. There we go. All right. So the good thing about spending a little bit of extra cash is that if you look inside all those bearings, yeah, they're sealed. They're not falling all over the place. If you take this guy over here, which is my dad's old Shakespeare, not the greatest in the world, but yeah, bearings go everywhere. Yeah, I don't use that one very often. Okay, so we take the top of it off and go ahead and inspect it. Make sure that your bearings are nice and sealed. Just go ahead and give it a good wipe. Get the rest of the sand and dirt and everything else out of there. Now when I store these, I'm going to be storing them inside so the weather will not affect the mono as much. Eventually you will have to replace it. So let's stick all that over there. Alright, just make sure you get all the sand and dirt off. Now, we have our regular reel here. Now, all the gears and stuff are down here in the body and a little bit up here, which we're just going to go ahead and take this side off. Now, we're not going to take it completely off. We're just going to be getting it loose enough so we can get in there with the air and also the rag in order to get some of the stuff out. So the, the washers here should just pull right off. There we go. Remember the orientation. So you have your lock washer type of thing, I guess. But anyway, this will actually flex out and keep it on there. It's made out of rubber, and you have a metal one with it's actually keyed. Let's see if I can get that up there. Try to focus. It's keyed to actually fit onto the shaft. And then you have a nice little rubber bushing, and then you also have another rubber washer that fits on the bottom. Put that all to the side. Now, you could take this thing off. I don't usually take it off because it's kind of a really big pain in the butt. So what we're gonna do, there we go. Take off the one little screw, which holds in the Alright, so it holds this guy in, which actually holds the nut in place so it does not back off. That's where the 12mm or 7/16 comes in. We're just going to loosen that screw up. A socket will work better, to be honest with you, but it shouldn't be on there that tight. Now, since we didn't actually take off this shaft here, you can't really get that nut up, but it'll be up enough to actually get underneath. There we go. So anyway, you can see inside a little bit here. Now this is where you paid the money, really. All this is sealed. There's gaskets in there. It's all gear. Nothing can really get in there, so you're good and safe for that. But we do want to get some of the gunk, the sand, the nastiness out of here. Oh. Be careful when you use compressed air when you have parts and pieces all over the table. Luckily I screwed it. I didn't lose that. God, that was stupid. Luckily I have an assistant Corbin to take care of it. Yep, there's. Yep, that's it. Thank you, sir. There you go. So we want to just cinch this down. Don't go too far because it is plastic. You don't want to get it too tight. And then you want to put your lock washer up here. Now you have to line that up. That will fit right where your screw hole is. And I'm just that good. I did it on the first try. And no, that doesn't usually happen. What are you talking about, Corbin? I think my assistant over here is not trusting me. Alright. I'm going to put our screw back in. There you go. Alright, so this guy is pretty much done, except now this shaft moves up and down. Now I just went in here and really wiped it down, but we don't want it to be dry. You don't want to slide your shaft in dry. That is just not right. So you're going to put it into the highest setting. Alright, this is where my worlds collide. Instead of using white lithium grease, because this stuff does get sticky, it works great. It doesn't wash off. Everything is great for that. But it gets a little sticky. And dirt and stuff like that might get in there and start sticking on there and causing problems. But what I'm going to grab is some classic light bicycle chain lube. Now this stuff here goes on wet, but it dries dry. I know that sounds weird, but hopefully it doesn't collect dirt. But we do want to give it lubed. There we go. A little dab will do. You don't need much. So anyway. Ah, that's just sweet. I'm liking it. I'm loving it. Everything you want to do with it. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of dab on the inside of these bearings so that when it goes onto the shaft, hopefully, and it shouldn't really, I don't want it to gall up and get stuck. Anyway, you can pick this stuff up in just about any bike shop. Oh, nope, forgot my washers. Alright, so remember the orientation. You have the flatty little washer, and then you have the thick plastic washer, and then you're going to have your locking tabbed washer if you're in West Virginia. That's right, Eric. That was for you, baby. There we go. Alright, now you have everything onto the shaft. Now you want to put your spool back on. Just make sure you got all the dirt out of there. Now it is keyed, so just spin it a little bit and it should fall right on. Should fall right on. There we go. Alright, got this down. Tighten your drag up. Now don't go too tight on your drag because you're storing it and you're not fishing with it. That is fantastic. Nice and smooth. That's one thing I do like about the tight lies is that everything is sealed, everything is in there, you're not going to get any trash. Now if you do get trash and then you really want to rebuild it, then they do have screws that you can pull this thing completely apart. This is just for regular storage and maintenance, not complete overhaul. Now I do have one more I got to do, and then I got the big pen. But the next thing is to actually store them. And I'm going to go inside and get some supplies and come back out and show you how to store it. And then we're going to wrap this up. Maybe. I talk too much. And can they ever make a air hose that doesn't leak? Killing me. Alright, right back. Alright, we're almost finished with actually getting everything put away, up in the rafters and out of my way. But these guys here, they're still a little bit wet. So I'm just gonna let it sit there and hang for the next day or so. Make sure it is completely dry before we put it up, because you don't want it to mold. Now, on the reels, we're almost done. All right, sorry for all the noise behind me.
Oops.
Corbin's making Christmas presents. Anyway, we got our reels. We got them all cleaned up and ready to go. They're lubed and they spin beautifully. Totally love it. Now, what we're actually going to do now is take the handle off. Maybe. There we go. So we're going to take the handle off, only because it's going to fit in the bag a little bit better. Now, what I like to do is actually take a towel, make sure it's dry. Don't put in there anything wet, because then you know how that goes. Anyway, then I'm going to take a plastic bag, and I'm going to wrap up my reel in the towel. There we go. And then I'm going to put it in the plastic bag. Now, why do we put it in the plastic bag? Well, this is a working shop, and I don't have a climate controlled area or whatever, filtration system to get all the dust, grime, salt, metal shavings, all that stuff out of the air. So, all the air out. There we go. So now, I have 3 reels ready to be put away. But I'm still not going to be done here because I'm going to put it in a box and then put it up in the rafters. Now, while you have all your rods, inspect the ends, inspect the tip, make sure that's good. Did find something. Alright, so this is the rod that I usually use for the surf. Throw out a little lure out there, trying to get some blues, trying to get whatever. And if you look at the very tip, I'm missing the plastic little insert for that tip. And I didn't notice it, but that's going to cut a line. You try to cast it, your stuff is going to be gone. So I need a new tip. That'll be on a later video because I don't have the kit. Alright, so that's about it. When you get done messing with the saltwater can kill a lot of stuff. Make sure you actually preserve it. Make sure that you clean it and it is ready to go for you next time. There's a lot of money sitting on this table. A lot more than I ever really wanted to spend on saltwater equipment, but saltwater stuff costs a lot of money. So anyway, take care of it. Be easy on it, love it, encourage it, and then it'll be ready for you for next time. So go out there, have fun, enjoy yourself, and we'll catch you guys later. Check out these fish. It's like this big. Maybe they're that big, but they look that big. Take a look.